Hi, I'm Jim from Beekeeping for Newbies, and it's the dead of winter out here. So I picked today to show you how to do one of the things that I think is the most terrifying to a new beekeeper, and that's installing a new package of bees. No, I'm not going to do it today. I have some video clip. I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through the process of installing a bee package. Okay, I'm back inside where it's a little bit warmer. Hopefully the dog will stop barking. We're going to talk about installing a bee package, and I'm going to show you how it's done. A bee package is a box of about 3 pounds of bees. It's about 10,000 bees, and it has a queen in a cage to keep her separated from the bees until they can adapt to her. And it has a can of sugar syrup to feed them while they're in transit. I suggest, if at all possible, you pick up the bees yourself instead of having them shipped. Shipping is stressful for the bees. You don't want to worry about whether or not you're going to be home when the package arrives. You don't want them sitting at the post office, anything like that. If you pick them up, bring a mesh bag to put the bee package in, because there's always a few stragglers. You don't need them flying around the car, especially like I had to do a 5-hour round trip. You don't want the bees flying around for a couple of hours while you're driving. Don't put them in your trunk. It gets too hot in there. Don't park and go shopping with them in the car for the same reason. The goal is to get them home so you can either give them a day to calm down, relax, or put them in your hive that day. Let's go out to the bee yard and I'll walk you through step by step how you do this. It's for a new beekeeper. If you've never handled bees before, this could be one of the most daunting tasks you'll have to do. And one reason is that as much as I talk about using protective gear, wearing a pair of beekeeping gloves while you do this is almost impossible. You almost have to do it barehanded. The bees are generally pretty calm. The video I'm going to show you, I did get stung, not once, but twice. But that comes with the territory. So let's get out to the bee yard on a nicer day, and I'll show you how to install a bee package. The first thing you'll want to do is spray the bees with some simple sugar syrup. Keeps them calm, keeps them clustered together. And you're going to bring that spray down to the bee yard with you when you're getting ready to install in the hive. Make sure your boxes are all set up and ready to go. Okay, let's go through what we have here. This is the bee bus. It is a package of bees. Maybe hear them in there. This is the can that holds the syrup that feeds them. This is the strap that holds the queen cage at the top here, so it's easy to get her out. So what we're going to do first is take the queen out. I have a board to cover that after we take the can out. So let's do this. Let's spray them with a little sugar water. I'm going to drop the bees to the bottom of the box. I'm going to lift the can out. There'll be some bees stuck on here. Whoa! And to keep the bees from, we're going to take the queen cage out. And we're going to cover it to keep the number of bees coming out to a minimum. There's the queen in there. This side is sealed up. On this side you can see there's a cork, but we don't want her coming out right away. So we're going to take that cork out and stuff it with some marshmallow that they'll have to eat through. So I'm going to do this over the box in case she were to come out. I don't want her to fall out. And there we go. After the marshmallow closes up that hole so the bees have to eat through it, I'm going to put the queen cage on a frame with the cage part facing out so the bees can feed the queen while she's still trapped in the cage, and also where they have access to the marshmallow so they can eat through it and free her up. It'll take probably about 3 days for them to free her from this cage. I'll strap her on there with a couple of rubber bands. I think you can see why this is best done barehanded. This is not easy to do with leather gloves on. Now we're going to put another box on top of this one, and you'll see why when I put the bees into the hive. If you've never done this before, I know the first time I did it, this was pretty intimidating. Shaking out a box of bees and having them swarming all around. You'll never get all the bees in the box. You get as many as you can in there, and over time the bees will find their way in there because the queen is there. Once you have most of the bees in the box, you're going to want to close it up. This might be the first time you'll use your smoker, so before you go down to the bee yard to do this, make sure your smoker is lit. Use the smoker to chase bees off the edges of the box so you can put the cover on. This is the inner cover going on. Normally you would just put the outer cover over it, but I'm going to be putting on some sugar syrup to feed this colony. As a bee package, this colony has no wax comb in the hive yet. Very important for them to build that out. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. Without comb, the queen has no place to lay eggs. She needs a place to lay eggs as soon as possible to start building up the population of this hive. Providing the sugar water helps them get there a little bit faster. After putting the sugar syrup on the hive, the only thing left to do is to put another empty box over it to cover those jars, and then put the cover on top. One of the things I edited out of the video was the part where I got stung twice. You didn't need to hear what I had to say at that time, but one of the things I caught is that I mentioned that I was stung on my ring finger. One of the things I tell people to do is just a little beekeeping tip: don't wear any rings when you go out in the bee yard. I've been stung on the hand a number of times. My hand swells up. If you have a ring on, it could become a real problem if you can't get that ring off in time. So just a little beekeeping tip there in addition to everything else. I hope you liked this video. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, feel free to give us a thumbs down. And do me a favor though, let me know in the comments below what you didn't like. I always appreciate constructive criticism. So thanks for that if you do that. And we'll see you next time.